Welcome back to, I think it's episode 5. It's been roughly 2 months since I last posted any updates on the Honda Civic. So the next step on the build is actually to paint the engine bay and make it all nice and shaven and weld up all the little holes. I haven't been posted because I've been doing research, ordering parts, waiting on parts, all that. So if you guys are new here, we're actually doing K24 conversion out of a Cord Euro or TSX motor in America. So the K24 A3, which is the Australian version, into my 95 EG hatch. So yeah, we're up to the next step. Actually, before we start, I actually have parts I want to show you real quick, just as an update. So this first parcel is my engine mounts, and these came from America, so they took a bit. I've decided to cheap out and go with some eBay ones. I've seen them work, other people are very cheap, so I'm going to see how long they're going to last. If not, we can later swap to other ones. From what I can see, the brackets and everything look really good. So yeah, everything's been like CNC machined, and yeah, it looks really nice. Currently, as you guys can see, the engine bay has had better days. It's got a little bit of surface rust growing on it. It's got the yucky black paint, and it's had a bit of brake fluid drip onto it and everything. Everything's starting to rust and disappear and disintegrate. So yeah, we're going to freshen it up with a different color, to be honest. The black collects too much dust. It's too dark and it absorbs heat. So I've decided to go with something absolutely opposite. So I've actually gone with Honda Championship White, which is a classic Honda color. I got it pre-mixed at super cheap. Cheers to Brody. A bunch of primer and a clear coat. Pretty keen for that. I've got everything here for that, so we're ready to go. I've actually started sanding down the engine bay, as you can see, and trying to knock off this engine mount as we get a replacement mount, which will sit on here somewhere, because the K-Series engine sits really close to the chassis rail. So yeah, as you can see, I've already stripped out most of the engine bay, got all the main stuff out. For example, the brake booster that was there, and there's a bunch of other stuff. I already started doing an engine bay wiring harness tuck. So the engine bay that usually runs around here, the headlights, it's gone back through the inside and it comes around the outside. For example, on this side you can see it all tucked in nicely. So just about ready to start sanding, and we've got to figure out what holes we don't need and what ones we do need, like the threaded ones are important. So I'm going to go through that and just probably circle them and go from there. And I also got a MIG welder, brand new, and some argon gas. So let's remove that driver's side engine mount with just a chisel and hammer, because that's all that is left to do on that. Let's get into it. Got it! Finally got it. After all that, it's gone. So being the next day after working on the car for a bit, I went up and picked up some supplies. Came back with like a flap disc and a cutting disc, or 2 cutting discs, just to make the job a bit easier. And some welding gear, as I forgot to actually grab some gloves. And I brought my own helmet back as well. I reckon this is the coolest helmet design you'll ever see. So the car originally had these condenser brackets or whatever. So I've moved, instead of having the radiator on this side, for the K-Series I need it to be on this side. So I've removed the brackets. I've got to finish grinding off all that and tack weld all that stuff up. And then I'm going to make my own custom radiator brackets and move them over here and bolt them up later on. Just drill holes and bolt them up. So that's the plan for that. After getting that engine mount out of the way, obviously there's little spots where I over drilled and everything, so now I'm going to weld them up. Just when you're doing this stuff, make sure you have a fire extinguisher on hand, because you never know, man. There's fuel, there's anything that can be in here that's flammable and around you, so yeah. now after just filling in a few gaps, I could have filled them in with body filler, but there was a few like they were very shallow, so I'm going to grind them back. But I think next is I'm going to go around and circle every single threaded hole that I might need in the future. And I've got some sheet metal to actually patch up big spots like this, because this is made for like B series and D series kind of intake. When the K series is obviously on this side, so that's a very ugly hole. I don't know if I'm going to run intercooler piping through there yet, so that's a later issue. Or with the intercooler, I can trim off a bit of the front here, because I've just ordered my intercooler today and it fits in the front, but they reckon you have to trim a bit off there just to get it to slot through there. So that might be the way to go. I got to see like if I'm actually allowed to modify that or not, because I want to be able to make it like legal, obviously. Now I'm going to go ahead and patch up all the holes. So as of this afternoon, this is all we've really gotten up to. I'm starting to go dark, so I might just pack it in and I'll show you what I'm up to now. So I've welded up all the holes along there, all along the side. It's all ground down. I welded up the big hole there. So maybe tomorrow I might put a plate in there, a bit of sheet metal, and just try to patch up a few of these holes that I failed on. And then before I go on tonight, I'm just going to chuck on some like surface primer. And it's not done yet, I just want to get it like so it doesn't like have any surface rust come along. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So I've just finished redoing them and like making sure they're all no pinholes or anything, so they're all good, and I've done the top here. I think that's all I'm going to do, and then the rest that I can't get my hand behind and paint, so these will get filled in with some like body filler. But the next step is filling in this hole, because I don't need this anymore because it's not a B series or a D series. I've cut out a bit of sheet metal, and if I chuck it behind there like that, I've gone ahead and marked around behind it, so I'm going to cut that out, and then that's going to slot right in there and cover that hole up. There we have it. I've tacked it just in place, and then I'm going to grind them down kind of flat, and then paint both sides, and then silicone around it, and then I'll body fill over the top of it. So the plan is to have it the same height as what this chassis rail part is, to make it all flat and smooth at the end of it. So ending off today, I've got everything pretty much done on that one side, but I've actually got covered in a bunch of stuff. I don't know if you can see it, but it's all on my sleeve and everything. It's just like, So I've finished up grinding and welding up all the little holes that I wanted, and I've just painted a bit of primer over them to stop them from like getting surface rust. Next day or so we'll start, or like week, we'll start sanding down the engine bay and getting ready for everything to get body filled, because that's what we're up to, because I finished. Next day, time to start sanding. So now after going through and doing all the sanding on both sides, I'm pretty happy with it. I might do like one more check over, but I've blown off all the sanding like dust and everything, and I've got to quickly go over with some mineral terps and wipe everything down and make it all nice. But yeah, and I'll show you guys how to do mixed body filler as well. This is my first time doing all this stuff by myself. I've actually never done it with anyone else either, so I'm just doing it by myself and just winging it, but I have a rough idea. I've watched a few YouTube videos and everything. So now I've got some mineral terps and a clean rag. Now I'm going to go over all the parts that I've just sanded for the body filler and clean them all up. So coming over to my table here, this is what you need to do the body filling. So you need a bit of plastic. You can't really use cardboard because it'll go mushy. Then you're also going to need like a spreader or whatever they call it. I don't know, I'm pretty new to this. And then you're going to need some body filler. So there's different types. I've gone with Super Cheap's lightweight car filler, like body filler. And yeah, this is very cheap, very budget friendly. That's why I've got it. Comes with your hardener and everything. So let's crack this open and have a look at how we do it. So now I'm just gonna stir it. Ooh, creamy. So apparently you add 2% hardener compared to the bog. And then you gotta mix it all in. Alright, let's go take it over to the car. Alright, time to repeat the process. So this is where we're up to on this. I have absolutely struggled, literally very tricky because it goes hard very quick. So you gotta be very quick with everything, but luckily we can sand everything back down. Haven't been able to record much because you gotta be quick. So that's where we've got up to today. Just done that whole side. Next time I do this though, definitely do like light coats and don't put as much out because it just goes everywhere and it just slops everywhere and it hardens really quick as well. If you're gonna do this yourself, take that into consideration. So I think I'm going to end the video here. I recorded over, I think it was 3 or 4 days, and I just kind of want to get a video out for you guys. I feel like it's best if we get a video out for now. If you stuck around to the end of the video, please subscribe and give me a comment and some feedback. Yeah, I got some big things on the way. I've just bought a bunch of parts, so we got plenty of stuff to do on the car now, and I'm going to try to get the car done by end of October, hopefully. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya.